All right, guys, so this is the 72 Chevelle. I know it doesn't look like much here. But it's a work in progress. Here are the floors. As you can see, I think the car was from probably back east and had some rust in there. So we are cutting away the rear trunk floor pan, which is this piece here. It will replace that under back seat panel. We also have the two floor pieces here, and then we have the piece that goes in the trunk. So we're gonna be cutting away the old rusty metal that's on there and replacing with the new piece, and that'll be welded in its place. Same with the floor pan. So first we want to get this side done in the back, and then from there we can move into the front. But other than that, obviously the overall body on the outside is pretty good. There's some rust and stuff that's all surface. I'm gonna sand that down or blast it down. But the progress on the Chevelle, almost like ready for paint, so we can paint it or sand it, whatever we want to do. What we're going to do is we're going to put pour 15 over that so that everything's covered, protected when we weld through. Also, when we weld, we put a weld through primer. Here's the update. We got the back floor kind of mocked up where it's gonna go. This is obviously the other floor pan that goes in here. So see how you can see these parts, those are going to be cleaned out. We're going to pour 15 that area where it's going to get welded to, and then from there be able to weld it, and then it'll be protected and rust free. Then from there, obviously from the underneath, we can undercoat it or protect it. But the floors were really bad. Obviously this looks bad because it's rusted, but it's bare metal, you know, so we're just going to rust. We could also media blast it or just do the rust more. That'll at least get us one step closer finishing up all the metal work that we got going on right here. So as you can see, it's far from being done, but hey, we're working on it, which is the main thing. We went ahead and fully cut out the back under tray for the rear seat. It's sitting right there. We got everything already mocked up. We go ahead and weld, pretty much pre-drill the spots. We're gonna spot weld to these areas here on the, it's like pretty much like a body rail that goes under here, like a support rail. And then obviously this part of the body too, that's where it's gonna be welded up there. So we'll weld that. That'll be finished. We can seam seal the edges, and it's good. And then the next step is the floor. So we don't want to get ahead of ourselves. We're gonna finish weld this up, and then from there put the floor pan right here, as you can see, which is this puppy up here. So we'll get that started to weld up so we can move on to the next step. All right, guys, so here's a little update of what we got. We got the rear seat floor, pretty much the bottom of the rear seat panel already kind of welded in its place, already tacked up here, tacked on the bottom shelf there. We had to do a little patch repair on that side, but now the last bit piece that we need to finish is the one that goes right on this, I would say the beginning of the rear of the floor pan. So we want to get all this welded up here, and then from there, we already, as you saw, cut away this floor that's going to be replaced. We want to go ahead and weld that up first, and then from there we can begin on the next part of it. Well, you remember how rusty these floor pans were before, but you put that secret sauce juice on top, which is the rust more, and it gets it down to bare metal, and it turns all that other like kind of corrosive rust into sandable primer. And then also we're gonna put pour 15 on them, and then they'll be ready to go in. So as you saw earlier, they were in the rust-more state with bare metal, and then we went ahead and coated them with the product called Pore 15, which is a rust inhibitor. So they'll be coated and they'll be ready to weld in hopefully by tomorrow. All right, here's the progress. Finally got Pore 15 and these floors done on this 72 Chevelle. I want to show you guys how everything looks. All right, so here's everything. Obviously we welded a new piece in the back, which is like the rear seat, trunk pan, floor pan, and then we got brand new floors for the front. It's all solid now. No more Fred Flintstone. And that's on these classic cars, that's what you're gonna need. You're gonna, most of the time, 99% of the time, they all need some rust repair. So, you know, it's 40-50 years old, floors are in, they look good. We did a Pore 15 coating on it, so now we're gonna start cleaning everything up inside and coat it with the Pore 15 as well, and continue, and then we're gonna start on the trunk. All right, so the other part of the car that's pretty bad shape is the trunk area. They had like makeshift, they put like some sheet metal here that's not supposed to be there. They patched it. I mean, you can see the rust coming back there. So we got new panels there. Right now we're coating with the rust more. That's the bottom sides of all of them here, and those are the new floor pans that are going to be going into the car. So we're going to kind of cut this off and kind of overlay the other pieces on there to kind of see where everything lands, because they're split into three. So you have pros and cons. Obviously the one piece, it's harder to kind of get in and fit it. The three piece, you can actually cut it in and weld it all together. So that's what we're going to end up doing, but that'll take care of all the rust on the car here. So we're going to start getting that cleaned up and continue replacing pieces. That's the fun stuff that you deal with the you know, old classic car, but I mean, that's what you have to do. But that's the rear tray, it's all good. So start getting this floor, get it out of here, and voila, there's a hole. So we're gonna be putting a fuel cell in here, getting everything ready. No, I'm just kidding, guys. This is actually the hole we cut out to get rid of. They stacked when they did this repair back in the day. There's another piece of metal and they put another pan on top. So we're pretty much cutting all this out. We're gonna drill out all the spot welds on the existing ribs that go on there, and then we're gonna be replacing this floor pan. What do you think, Jose?
Going. This is gonna be a nice one.
A little rust?
Just a little bit done. Nothing 415 won't take care of.
I wish it was that easy. Just spread some Pore 15 and you're back to glory. So here's a little update on the rust bucket project here on the Chevelle. Is we already got the floors kind of lined up where they're gonna go, but also when we started digging, just like anything, that was this. So luckily I had a wheel well replacement, so we went ahead and sectioned it in here to get rid of all this custom patches that they did. There's pieces of it down there. So I think I told you we got this on order, the new piece, so we can replace all that section. And this wheel well is not too bad. We're gonna still kind of repair it, but it's not as bad as that. So coming together, there's 50-60-year-old stuff down there, and we just have to keep tearing away. Unfortunately, with these classic cars, that's kind of like what you get into. You don't know, you know, until you start kind of digging into it, and you know, especially you don't know where it came from back east and all that. But hey, we got to do it right. replace that metal, guys. When in doubt, if you got rust, just go ahead and replace. That's the rule of the day. All right, huge shout out to Dynacorn for getting us parts that I need. So anything you guys need for restoration purposes only, meaning like for your Chevelles, your Malibus, Camaros, Chevy trucks, everything. They have all the sheet metal that you. So what I went ahead and got was, these are the drop-off floors that go on the bottoms of that quarter panel there. So I got them for both sides so you can see how they were pretty much rotted out. The big piece, the other smaller piece is for the trunk. They welded between the trunk and the floor there. That's where the latch and everything goes to. But the big item that, we've been, we looked at it and we're like, we kept deciding, are we gonna fix it, can we patch it? And at the end, like, they have it, it's brand new, just might as well get it. This is the big section that goes right here. You see it right here, this whole section here. So we're gonna have to replace that up there, and then we're able to weld all the parts and everything we need to the car. And this is that big monster that we need, and that'll be able to sustain everything. We can start doing the floors, welding everything, the braces, everything we need. So big shout out to Dynacorn for coming through and get that cut out and put this new metal in there. So chiseled out the spot welds that go throughout that existing panel, and now it's take it to Pound Town. All right, guys, so we got the car on the lift so we can get a better scope of things underneath, make sure everything's lining up. So this is the new panel that we got, the rear, pretty much the rear cross floor rail that goes in the back and kind of mates with the trunk pan and the quarter panel. We also got these drop downs that go from the trunk to the quarter panels, and kind of got everything kind of mocked up where it needs to go. And we went ahead and also removed where the original rail that goes here and here, because we're gonna put a new rail that goes across that holds on to the floor pans. And then also we already got everything mocked up and bolted to the body pan here. So this one's okay. We're just gonna kind of clean this up. This one's still solid. We went ahead and kind of fixed up the wheel wells as well and kind of patched them up. The floor, obviously you guys knew we did the floor, so the floor's on there. We still obviously do some cleanup and everything on there, but everything's on there solid, not with big old rusted holes. So it's great that now we have it on this. We can really kind of see what's underneath it, and we're gonna kind of get everything obviously to line up where it needs to go here, so that we can do our proper welds. Always measure twice, cut once. That's the rule. All right, so here's a little update on the Chevelle. We went ahead and mocked everything up, mocked up the step down on the floor. We had to make this piece back here because the existing piece didn't come with it. Also, we got all new supports that go here in the middle that get welded underneath. We're mocking those up. What we had to do is put it on the lift and put it on jack stands to make sure everything was level. We mocked up this valence to make sure everything was form fit in there. And now it's time to start welding things up. And then from there, we're gonna weld all this stuff on the side. Then we can start laying the floor and get all that done. So it's been a mission in the back here. We've been having trouble, but we want to make sure we get it all right. So we're taking the extra precautions to get it right, but she should be welded up soon. All right, here's a separate update here. We got kind of everything tacked on that back valence, and some tacks here, and you can see now there's a floor now in there. It's not just bare skeleton. So we're gonna be finishing tacking all these areas here, tacking the rails to the floor there. We already tacked them in the back, and then we should have a solid floor, guys. So hopefully the test is I'm gonna be in here and you're gonna see me jumping on it. So that'd be the ultimate test. All right, guys, so I'm gonna be finishing up welding the floor pan to the rails that go underneath the car. Those are the support rails that go and support the bottom of the trunk floor. So we drilled out the holes up here. We're gonna go ahead and finish welding this up. And the ultimate test, I'm gonna bounce on this. If I don't go through it, we're okay. All right, so we went ahead and got everything all welded up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and undercoat everything, put some seam seal on everything, and then go ahead and shoot some Raptor liner, which is like an undercoating. But looking good, baby. New floors. No more flat fence stone. We're solid now. All right, guys, so you guys got to see the whole process of replacing floor pans, taking all the rust out of an old car, putting new fresh floor pans. Car is solid now, and you saw me in the beginning of the video standing inside with no floors, but now I'm underneath the car and you guys are looking up to some solid floors. So we're good, we're solid. That's the first step, making sure the car is solid, all new metal, everything's in there. So the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna get into the motor. So we're gonna go ahead and put the LS3 in there, mock it up, make sure everything fits. Any cuts that we need to do to the tunnel, fit it, motor mounts, all that. So we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you guys. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notification button to get all the new updated reviews on the new videos that come out. Thank you guys for watching. Here at SOS Customs, we got you covered. Peace.